Rod J back here on the channel, and today we need to talk about some major news coming out of the UK beer scene. BrewDog, the Scottish brewer known for his punk IPA and rebellious image, is facing a huge challenge. Across Britain, thousands of pubs have stopped serving their beers. That is right, punk IPA and other BrewDog offerings are disappearing from taps and shelves. For those who may not know, BrewDog started back in 2007 and quickly made a name with bold beers and punk rock style of marketing. I can remember even when they had a channel on Esquire back in the day that I used to check out when I used to visit back up in New Jersey. They grew fast, opening bars across the UK and even overseas. At one point, it seemed like they were unstoppable. But over the last couple of years, cracks have started to show, and there's definitely been some cracks. Reports are now saying that nearly 2,000 pubs have pulled punk IPA from their lineups. That equals about a 52% drop in where you can find it. This is not just a small shift either. That is a big chunk of their market disappearing almost overnight. So why is this happening? A few things are at play here. First, the wider hospitality industry is struggling. Higher wages, increased insurance costs, and less relief from the government have made it all harder for some pubs to keep their doors open from what we're seeing. Many are trimming their beer list to focus on the biggest sellers or the ones with the best support deals. So that also works against BrewDog. At the same time, BrewDog themselves have been facing some tough numbers. In 2022, they reported a £30 million loss. In 2023, that number almost doubled to 59 million. Those kind of numbers make it hard for any brewery to keep the same level of presence, no matter how big they are. Because of these pressures, a lot of pubs are now leaning toward competitors like Camden Town or Beavertown instead of BrewDog. This means BrewDog is becoming more dependent on Wetherspoon pubs, which are one of the few places still carrying a punk IPA widely. If their relationship changes, it could be lights out for BrewDog beers on taps much across the country. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye to see what ends up happening to them over there. And let us not forget, BrewDog recently had to close some of his own bars too, including their very first location at Aberdeen. That says a lot about how tough things have become. Now, here in the States, I have not seen anything yet for the location in Columbus or Indianapolis, and I believe they have one in Pittsburgh. So here in the States, not too much is being said about that, although we know they've also had issues here. On top of that, the public has mixed feelings. Online comments show beer fans think BrewDog lost its edge as they grew. The flavors of beers like punk IPA are seen as being toned down compared to the early days. Other points to leadership controversies or simply say there are better options out there now. In short, some people no longer feel that BrewDog represents craft the way it once did. What are your thoughts on it? Do you still think BrewDog holds down and is still that great craft brewery that it was from years ago? Let me know by dropping a comment in the comment section, and let's talk about that as well. So what does all of this mean? For drinkers, it might mean that the next time you walk into your local, you will not find punk IPA on tap anymore. For the company, it is a wake-up call. They need to find out to steady the ship or risk losing the identity they built up over the last 2 decades. And I mentioned those other American cities. I forgot they do have a tap house here basically in Cincinnati. I need to go check that out, see if I can find out anything taking place here because that is local to where I'm at. Well, that's the story for now. BrewDog is in a tough spot. Pubs are pulling out, competitors are gaining ground, and drinkers are moving on. The big question is, can BrewDog reinvent themselves and bounce back, or are we starting to see a little bit of a long-term decline? I want to know what you think. Do you still drink BrewDog beers? Have you already moved on to other craft breweries? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more beer news right here on the channel. Until next time, cheers.